morning, boys and girls. This is Oreo Squanto. I miss you so much. It's been a while since we shared a story with you. So today I would like to share Oreo Squanto with you. And this is Oreo Squanto. He isn't as nice as Tank, or he'll listen as well as Tank or Bubble or Biscuit. You know how cats are. They all have personalities and want to do things on their own terms. Let's see how well Oreo Squanto will listen to me. Well, anyway, we found Oreo Squanto on our doorstep, nearly dying on Thanksgiving Day last year. These are his baby pictures. We named Oreo Squanto after the Native American Squanto, who saved the Pilgrims from starvation during the winter of 1620. Each one ago, but I'll try to hang on to him a little bit longer. He became the interpreter and the guide of the Pilgrims. It is no exaggeration to say that without Squanto, the Pilgrim colony, the Plymouth colony might have failed. This is a quote from Joseph Bruchac. Yeah, Oreo Squanto, good boy. So this is a story that I'm going to read to you by this author, Joseph Bruchac. Oh, he's so lovable. I didn't think he'd be this lovable right now. So let's sit and just be quiet and let him have his glory for a little bit. Yeah, Oreo Squanto. I didn't expect this. I thought he was gonna run away. But we can sit and talk to him for a little bit, yeah? See. Oh. All right, thank you, Oreo Squanto. Well, we can start our story now. Since Oreo Squanto left me, it is a book I like to share by Joseph Bruchac and pictures by Greg Shedd. Squanto's Journey, the story of the first Thanksgiving. My story is both strange and true. I was born in the year the English called 1590. My family were leaders of the Patuxet people, and I, too, was raised to lead. But in 1614, I was taken to Spain against my will. Now it is 1621, and I am again in my homeland. My name is Squanto. I would like to tell you my tale. I look up and watch a heron flying overhead. It goes toward the falls that gave our people their name. We were the Patuxet, the people of the falls. Our clear fields were not empty of people then as they were when the English pilgrims landed in the freezing moon of 1620. Only 6 winters have passed, but so many things have changed. I remember that day in 1614. White men had come often to fish in our bay and trade. They had brought us fine things in exchange for beaver and deer skins. This time, when their tall ships with sails like the wings of giant birds anchored offshore, this time was different. John Smith was one of the English captains. He and his officer, Thomas Dermer, traded with us. I liked the way Dermer shook my hand. Smith had learned much from dealing with other Indians in the summer land of Virginia. He knew we value honor. The other captain was Thomas Hunt. After Smith left, Hunt landed at Patuxet. He told us he was Smith's friend. "Come to a feast on my ship," he said. More than 20 of us went aboard to share food with friends, but Hunt was no friend. He set sail, taking us with him as captives. Left behind were our families, our homes, our people. Our lives were no longer our own. Soon, we were crossing the wide salt waters. The journey was long, but my spirit did not desert me. I remembered I was nice, a man of courage and honor. I told stories to my people and urged them to stay strong. Hunt took us to Malaga in the land of Spain. There we were sold to be slaves, but men who served the Creator lived there. It was they who called themselves brothers, who freed us from our chains. I learned more of their language. I let them teach me about their ways of thanking the great mystery. I told them what I wanted most. I wanted to return home. With the friar's help, I went to England. Sorry, the dogs are just barking at cross people walking by. With the friar's help, I went to England. English ships often sail toward the sunset. I realized that if I could be of use to the English, they might take me with them. It took much work, but I learned the language well. In March of the year they call 1619, I sailed back to New England at the side of my friend Thomas Dermer, one of John Smith's officers. Our memories of each other were like the taste of good water. He told me that things were not well between my people of the First Light and the English. Englishmen and their ships were now being attacked when they came to shore. Perhaps if I accompanied the English, I could speak with the Indians and they could trade again in peace. My heart felt as if it were soaring on eagle's wings as the ship cut through the waves, but I also feared what I might find. Where there were this many people, he said, telling me of the great illness in New England brought on by white traders. Now only this many remain. He folded back all but 2 fingers. It proves, as he said, the sickness had come down upon Patuxet like the blow of a war club. Only a few of my people survived. My wife, my children, my parents, and all those closest to me were gone. I will not say their names now. I will speak them again when my own feet climb the highest mountain and I walk the road of stars to greet them. Together, Thomas Dermer and I did our work. We made friendly contact with the Nemisket and Pokanoket. More than once, my words saved the life of my English friend. Peace seemed within our reach. But Apanau, the powerful sachem of Kapawak, viewed the English as one might a deadly serpent. Apanau, too, had been taken to England as a slave and brought back to act as a guide. He had escaped and vowed to always fight the white men. The deeds of other Englishmen convinced his people that he was right. In the summer of 1620, as Thomas Dermer and I talked of peace, an English captain invited a party of Indians on board the ship. Then suddenly the white men shot them down. When we reached the island of Kapawak, Apenau and his warriors attacked us. Many English were killed. Thomas Dermer was wounded. With my help, he was able to escape, but I was taken captive and given to the Pokanoket as a prisoner. That November, when the Mayflower reached shore, the Pokanoket watched. They did not come close to the English. If the Pokanoket had been stronger, they might have attacked the white men, wiped them out, or driven them away. But the Pokanoket were still weak from the great sickness. Where there had been thousands, now there were hundreds. The strength of our people was so small now that the Narragansett to the south, untouched by the plague themselves, ordered the once proud Pokanoket and Nemesket to pay them tribute. I spoke to Massasoit, the sachem of the Pokanoket, as a nice should, with respect and honor. Befriend the English, I said. Make them come to understand and support our people. Massasoit did not listen at first. He watched silently through that winter. Then Samoset came to visit. He was a sachem of the Pemaquid people who lived farther up the coast. He had done much trading with the English. He knew some of their language. Let me talk with the Songlis Moniac, he said to Massasoit, nodding to me as he spoke. Massasoit agreed. The next day, March 16 of 1621, Samoset strode into the English settlement. Welcome, English, he said in their tongue. He showed them the 2 arrows in his hand. One had a flint arrowhead, the other had the arrowhead removed. The arrows symbolized what we offered them, either war or peace. The English placed a coat about his shoulders to warm him. They invited him into one of their houses. They gave him small water, which is a drink that the Pilgrims made, biscuits and butter, pudding and cheese. The food was so good, Samoset said to me later, laughing as he spoke. I decided to spend the night. When he left the next day, he promised to return with a friend who spoke their language well. So it was that 5 days later, on the 22nd of March, I walked with Samoset back into my own village. Once Patuxet, now it was Plymouth. I looked around me. Though much was changed, I knew that I at last had returned to the land of my home. Perhaps these men can share our land as friends, I told my brother at my side. In the moons that followed, there was much work to do. The Pokanoket freed me to be a guide and interpreter for the English. Not only did I act as envoy between the English and our people, I also had many things to teach the white people about survival. They knew little of hunting and almost nothing of planting. It had always been the job of the Patuxet women to care for the crops, while the men, such as myself, hunted. But I had observed much in the years since my captivity. I had seen in Newfoundland how the English learned from our people how to grow corn. Use the small fish that wash up on our shores in great numbers, I told the English. Bury those fish in the earth and they will feed the corn. I showed them how to plant the seeds of corn and beans and squash together in hills. I told them when it was the moon of hoeing. They listened well and worked hard. I came to see that these programs could be our friends and we theirs. Together, we might make our home on this land given to us by the Creator of all things. A good harvest was brought in this fall. Some of their English crops have not done well, but the three sisters, the corn and beans and squash, have done well. As I look at the beans growing up about the stalks of the corn, I think of how our two people have become entwined. I feel hope for our children in the seasons to come. With our help, the English have learned enough of hunting and fishing to provide the food for a great feast such as this one, the feast for all our people. Now, as we eat together, I give thanks. I have seen more in my life than most men, whether Indian or English. I have seen both death and life come to this land that gives itself to English and Indians alike. I pray that there will be many more such days to give thanks together in the years that follow. I am Squanto. I am known to all those who gather here, English, Pokanoket, Nemisket, even a few of my own surviving Patusets. I speak to you as a man of honor. I will never leave this land. I give thanks for all of our people to the Creator of all things. I will also include the author's note towards the end of this clip for those who want to know more about why the author, Joseph Bruchac, thinks Squanto's story is inspiring. Hey, biscuit. Hello, boys and girls. Welcome back. Let's work on our summary about Squanto's journey. We learn that Squanto was an Indian who saved the first pilgrims and helped them become the nation we are today. We celebrate Thanksgiving to remember him. We are very thankful to God that he has given us this wonderful country to live in. We, as immigrants, came here to America from Vietnam. In America, we live in homes we didn't build and eat fruits from trees we didn't plant. This country has been a wonderful place for us and many other people too, like us, who are searching for freedom and opportunities. We are thankful every day, but especially on Thanksgiving, we are reminded of the Pilgrims' arrival in America, a harsh and new environment that took the lives of many who came to the New World in search for political and religious freedom. This place wasn't easy. Everything was new to them. Many lost their lives in the process, yet there was one Native American, Squanto, or Tisquantum, who showed great kindness to the pilgrims. Squanto's story was incredible, as was how God orchestrated that before a nation was formed. He would bring forth a man in tragedy to himself, and in that man preserve a people and a nation. Squanto was taken into slavery and sold in bondage. And yet, wherever he goes, like Joseph in the Bible, God blessed him and gave him favor. After so many years, delivered him back to his own country. When he got back to his people, he found out that the disease that the white man had brought to the people had killed his tribe and village and everything he knew. Yet, in one of the most incredible acts of kindness and charity, became the savior of the very people who destroyed his life. His people, his family, and everything he came to know. Still, he befriended them. Not only did he befriend them, he helped them by showing them how to farm, to preserve, to hunt, and fish, which allowed them to survive the harsh winter. They became the preserve of the people, which became the United States of America today. Sometimes we talk about George Washington and Abraham Lincoln, who were great men, but this Squanto of the world gave us much, if not more. The nation we cherish today. And this Thanksgiving, I hope you have Squantos in your lives for whom you are thankful. We have Squanto for a year now. We found him last year, Thanksgiving Day. As we walked outside, this little cat, half frozen, half cold, wet and dying, fit in the palm of our hand. Look at him now. We didn't even think he would survive. We took him in and did the best that we could for him. From then on, he became Squanto. As you can see, he survived and he's a lot stronger now. He is very jealous and does not want any other cats to be by my husband. But he is lovable and loyal, just like Squanto, who was loyal and showed kindness to the pilgrims. Why don't we do the same for others this Thanksgiving holiday? Go and help the neighbor, make some cookies for your parents, watch or walk someone's pets for them. Last but not least, give thanks and gratitude to all that you have. Thank you, boys and girls, for listening to me. Have a nice day, and I will see you on the next adventure.